This program is brought to you by Hungry Jack's and Bunnings Warehouse.
Happy Halloween, and if you're a Melbourne United fan, there's probably no spookier sight than seeing Bryce Cotton on the opposite end of the floor, and you're going to see that tonight. The Perth Wildcats coming in. I like the look of Bryce Cotton tonight. All this Craig Randall talk, all this Derek Walton Jr., I reckon he's got a chip in his shoulder, so I'm going to go for the Perth Wildcats to get this win, but I think Melbourne United, their fans are deserving of a better performance. I think it's going to be a close game within that 1 to 10 range. So I'm going to take the Perth Wildcats to win 1 to 10, and the great man, the scariest sight in the league for opposition, Bryce Cotton to hit his overs. Enjoy the game and gamble responsibly.
You know the score. Stay in control, gamble responsibly.
What a wild round it has been so far in NBL23. And the first thriller was on Friday night when the Wildcats had the chance to win it on the buzzer but couldn't beat the informed South East Phoenix. And speaking of wild, what about Saturday night? A Tyler Harvey 3 forced the game to overtime. Then Xavier May sent it to double overtime. And eventually Melbourne United got the win they were searching for. Now it's Perth who are in desperate need of a win on this Monday night in Melbourne. What does Halloween have in store for us? Can't wait to find out. Let's get this one started. And John Cain Arena is where we are tonight, hosting Monday night basketball on this Halloween. And it's the Perth Wildcats who come to town to take on Melbourne United. They're looking to break a 3-game losing skid. And Melbourne United, well, they got their season back on track somewhat in that win against the Illawarra Hawks the other night, but Perth Wildcats, they have a pretty good record at John Cain Arena. They've won 10 of their last 15, and Melbourne United, well, they've lost their last 4 at home. So plenty to play for tonight as I welcome in the two men on my left tonight, Liam Santamaria, and the man who broke the Perth Wildcats' hearts the other night, Mitch Creek. Hello, boys.
Hello, Joey. Yeah, big one tonight. A chance for Melbourne to get back to 500. Perth, of course, as you say, trying to fix a little slide. That man, Xavier May, is playing really well. 32 points the other night. Big shot after big shot down the stretch, and he's going to have the ball in his hands and be big again tonight.
For the other side, Mitch, this man, Bryce Cotton, so much rests on his shoulders.
Yeah, he does. Obviously, the other night it was a big performance against us, but unfortunately, it can't just be him. It's got to be other guys step up to the plate tonight. He's been instrumental in every single game, but you got to see guys like Manick and Toddy Blanchfield step up tonight.
Well, huge inclusion for Melbourne United tonight. The return of Shea Illy, first game for the season after missing the opening 7 rounds with concussion. No doubt he's going to have the match-up on Bryce Cotton.
Yeah, great to see him back active again. Terrific defender, runner-up in Defensive Player of the Year voting last season, of course, the best 6th man, and they've injected him straight back into the starting lineup. So he's going to share that backcourt with Rattan Mays, and you're right, he'll go straight to Bryce Cotton.
And Mitch, a couple of big men starting to find form for both sides, and this man, Tashawn Thomas, played his best game against you guys on Friday night with the 14 points, 6 boards. Didn't play last time they met. The matchup between him and Isaac Humphries is going to be important.
Yeah, Isaac's been huge this season. I think he's really coming into his own. His conditioning, his strength's really coming back. His touch on both ends, leading the league in blocks at the moment, but someone who can really put a lot of pain for Perth on the inside. But as you said, Thomas coming in off a good game. Let's see how this matchup goes.
Well, Humphries was really good in his last one, of course, in Illawarra, but was also terrific last time these two teams met, when Melbourne got the chocolates in Perth. 17 points, 10 boards, and 4 of these protecting the rim and sending shots away. And I like the fact he gave him a scoring presence down low. Some action in the block, of course, as the roll man finishing at the cup. So they will need him to be big again tonight.
And Liam, Mitch spoke about Bryce Cotton needing some support, and this is the man who needs to get some more points on the board, Brady Manick.
Yeah, for sure. He's been underwhelming, fair to say, over the course of the start of the season. They brought him in to be a double-figure scorer, a real threat from long range and a guy putting points on the board, and he hasn't been that. So, look, he's going to come off the bench. First time in his NBL career in this one. They need him to get going, but as you said, Creaky, it's not just Brady Manick. They need others like Corey Webster and, of course, Todd Blanchfield.
Yeah, look, they have to come and play. You know, you can't expect it all to go on Bryce Cotton. As you said, Manick's renowned to be a scoring guy, 3-point specialist, plays hard both ends of the floor, but he needs to step up.
Only the 17 minutes and 4 points the other night against the South East Phoenix. Let's listen to his coach, John Riley.
For a guy straight out of college to a professional level, especially the NBL, there's going to be growing pains. We're certainly not seeing the best of Brady Manick, but unless I didn't see it correctly, like he gives great effort defensively. Yeah, like getting a few rebounds would be good.
We talk about scoring. Well, Brody Manick and Todd Blanchfield, a lot's going to rest on their shoulders. Just 7 of 28 combined from three-point land the last 3 games.
Yeah, and those have been 3 losses as well. So those numbers aren't good. They need both those guys scoring at a much higher rate, knocking down shots, being aggressive, and both being in double figures.
Let's take a look at the champion starting 5, starting with the home team, Melbourne United. Mitch.
Yeah, look, this is going to be a really good game tonight. Love seeing Shea Lee back out there. Obviously, XRM, his emotional words after the massive double overtime. I expect him to have a big game, but you can't go past Chris and Oquira and obviously Isaac protecting the paint down there.
And the champion starting 5 for the Perth Wildcats. You mentioned the one change, Liam.
It was a big change. So Brody Manick's going to come in off the bench, and the veteran, the 6-time champ, Jesse Wagstaff, makes his first start of NBL23.
Well, let's get this one underway. Monday night basketball in Melbourne. Of course, it's a public holiday tomorrow, Melbourne Cup Day. So a long weekend for a lot of folk in Melbourne. There's a good crowd tuning out for this one too. Both teams just trying to get their season rolling. Perth have lost 3 on the trot. Melbourne looking to get to 4-4. A second crack at it. Starting lineup there, Mitch Norton, Sean Thomas, Bryce Cotton, as we said, Todd Blanchfield and Jesse Wagstaff. And straight away, they go down to Bryce Cotton for an easy bucket and a chance for a 3-point play.
Wow, fascinating to see the matchups there off the tip. Now, we'll see if it stays that way, but they sent Illy to Norton. Rattan Mays goes to Cotton, and then on the flex screen and the flex cut, they didn't switch. So you watch here, Shea Illy's on Mitch Norton, the flex cut underneath, no switch. Rattan Mays out of position, and one finish for Cotton.
Yeah, you don't want to see that after Melbourne. First touch of the game, 3-point play for Bryce. Talk about trying to take the air out of it, but you pump him up, it's going to be a long night.
And almost automatic from the free throw line is Bryce Cotton, 30 from 31 for the season. He gets going early. Both teams wanting to start well in this first quarter. Golding from way downtown. Having a career low season. Chris Golding, been 10 years since he's been scoring as low as he had, the 13 points this year. Just trying to find his groove.
Yeah, the whole team's been struggling offensively. 9th in offensive efficiency, only Illawarra below them, and they need to get all those guys going, particularly Chris Golding, as David Oquira picks up the early foul there, making his 2nd career start.
Also part of the commentary team tonight on courtside is Drew Jones. Hello, Drew.
G'day, boys. Yeah, great to be here tonight. The atmosphere is excellent on Halloween here. First time Melbourne have ever played on this date. Perth, their 4th matchup. They're 2-1 as Bryce Cotton puts up the jumper. So, Shea Illy back tonight in the starting lineup. He's on a minutes restriction tonight. They're so happy to have him back after 7 games out. Probably right to go from about a week ago. Had to go through some contested work, and once he cleared all those symptoms, right to go, and they're delighted to have their pure point guard and defensive specialist back.
So, Drew, you mentioned the minutes restriction. Did they give you any sense of what that number might be?
No, they were tight-lipped about that, Liam, but he's ticked off everything that he's needed to, and he's been so desperate to get out there, and they've said his leadership skills have gone to the next level while he's been out of the game.
Norton goes straight at Illy on that play, and again they'll get the chance for a 3-point play, the Perth Wildcats.
Good attack on the rim from Mitch Norton. Just give him a little bit of gap, and he uses that to get a little acceleration in place, wheeling and dealing around the rim. He's been a little quiet across these last 3 games, just averaging 5 points, 2 assists in those losses. So that's a good sign for the Wildcats.
Mitch Norton's another one. Just needs to get some points, just averaging the 5 points a game in his last 3 after starting the season in pretty good fashion. And the refs are happy to blow the whistle early stage, and that's already the 4th foul inside the first 2 minutes.
Thank you, Chris. Good awareness.
That's an early sign for Blanchfield, and he's signaling the fact that it looks like he's saying he's not feeling good. Feeling a little dizzy, perhaps.
Seeing stars.
Doesn't look good. It's not a good start when you calling for a sub a minute and a half into the game. Hopefully everything's okay there.
Here's Aquera going to work, getting inside. That's good for his confidence.
That's a big play for him. He's one of their guys. We talked about it, pre-show. The 4 men in this league, there's such a stacked lineup throughout the teams, but for him, he has to be aggressive. He has to keep putting his head on the rim, especially with Wagstaff out there. A little slower foot. I think that's where a real strength for him can be tonight.
That's a definite concern for the Wildcats. Interested to see it wasn't Luke Travers that checked in to replace Todd Blanchfield. Corey Webster, of course, Melbourne has that 3-guard lineup out there on the floor. Perth similarly going small on the perimeter as Manick checks in. See how he responds. His first game coming off the bench.
You said season low, 4 points for him on Friday night against the Phoenix. As Golding comes off the screen.
Comes in, first touches the rebound. Just what the doctor ordered, right?
That's what the coach was.
And then straight away, we'll fire for 3. Just leaves that one short. We speak about Shea Ili. Mitch, how important is he to Melbourne United? Could you go as far as saying he's their most important player?
I would, without hesitation, say that he is their most important player. Sets the tone defensively, makes smart plays, has improved his offensive game tenfold. Makes open threes now, good in the lane, runners, finishing with contact, but he just settles them. He's a cool, calm head, and I think after a couple of games, we'll really start to see his effect in full force.
We're talking about his decision-making on display right there. Chris Golding doesn't have the angle. Shea Ili flashes to the ball and then works out a way to get the ball to Humphries next to the rim.
Only 3 seconds left on the shot clock too. Important players. Thomas will fire from long range.
Now, I like Tashawn Thomas. I think he's going to be a real player in this league over the course of this season, and he is really just getting himself warmed up.
The foot was on the line, so just the 2 points is now Ili will fire away.
There we go.
And there's that offense you're talking about.
You'd love to see it, especially with a bit of a layoff, the concussions and the issues he's had going on, but to come back in, a few nice passes, been solid on defense and knocks down an open one.
Webster tries to get involved, but they'll get the offensive board. Thomas again, strong finish, 5 quick points for him. 4 points, in fact. You see his foot was on the line for that long-range shot earlier. It's Humphries. Nice feed to Golding in the corner. He's been aggressive, but off the mark early. A good start to this one. Golding again. Is it from 3 so far for him? Now Ili feeling good about himself.
Oh, boy. You can't guard him like that anymore. You used to be able to. It was always go under the screen on Shea Ili, but he has really improved his stroke over the last couple of seasons, and he punishes the D right there.
6 points already for Shea Ili, coming back from a concussion. Mitch Norton again will draw the foul, get to the free throw line.
Here's that 3-point shooting on the Amy replay underneath from Mitch Norton. So Shea Ili lets it fly. And the next possession, underneath from Bryce Cotton. And again, Ili punishes that kind of coverage.
That's what Shea does, though. He puts the pressure on you in every single part of the game. If you go under, he's going to stop behind and shoot that 3. If you go over and chase him on those screens, he's going to get downhill. He's a good passer and a good finisher. But that's the pressure he's putting on Bryce now.
The two that are matching up on each other, going right at it. Shea Ili with the 6 points, and Mitch Norton coming up for his 5th point. As we said, only averaging 5 points in his last 3 games. And he's got 5 in the opening 5 minutes.
And the minutes restriction in full effect for Shea Ili. Go bang, bang from long range and come and take a seat, big fella.
You get hot and then sit down, cool off.
Luke Travers checks into the game.
I'm told maybe about a 15-minute limit is the word coming through for Shea Ili tonight. We'll keep an eye on those numbers.
Golding did well to get some separation. This time he gets it. And he's on the board.
I'd like to see Corey Webster get going here. Looks a little flat, not moving the way he has been in the past.
And Bryce Cotton with a quick response. Loves playing at John Cain Arena, does Bryce Cotton. He's had 3 30-point games in the last couple of seasons as Rattan Mays tried to get Tucker involved. Good defence. And the jock into the game. And now Cotton just puts a little stick on Aquera, couldn't finish. Active hands. Bryce Cotton always top 5 in the competition for steals. Webster leaves that short, and the jock's there to clean up.
Some work on the offensive glass from the Wildcats. Haven't really been getting that done this season, and Dean Vickerman not happy about it. Off 2 offensive rebounds, 4 points off second chance opportunities. And they need to work out their coverages here on Cotton too. You've got to be up at the line of the screen. Barlow wasn't quite there that time, and here they dodged a bullet. Aquera not there, and Cotton dances right around him. He missed the layup, but can't keep giving Cotton good looks.
Well, again, he's number 1 in the competition, points per game, 22 points. 6 of the last 7 seasons, he's averaged between 22 and 23 points a game. So consistent is Bryce Cotton. But we're going to take a listen to Chris Golding talking about Shaylee's return.
Yeah, I mean, Shay's so much more than just a point guard. He leads us in so many areas, and I think that's really been missing. The credit to the guys that have been filling in and keeping us afloat and keeping us moving forward while he's been out. But, you know, there's only one Shay, and we love him at this club and happy to get him back.
Let's get back down courtside. Drew Jones.
Thanks, Joey. So Todd Blanchfield was flanked by trainers for a few minutes after being subbed out of the game early on. He's back on his feet, did a couple of run-throughs when that timeout was called. In the huddle there, but coming back to the bench, so no sign of checking back into the game yet.
Well, hopefully we see him back out there at some stage. We saw, I mean, it wasn't the head, it was his chest and sternum area, but we saw similar stuff with Craig Randall last night. Your game against you guys, Creaky, was out and he was struggling to breathe on the bench, very sore in the chest, but came out and got some things done in that second half.
Some would say it's the suffocating defense from the Phoenix, but they may be just rumours, though.
Game number 354 for Todd Blanchfield tonight. Hopefully he gets back out there. Dave Barlow checks into the game. And Brad Newley, and straight away attacks the rim.
How do you like it? Walk in, layup. Happy days. That's vintage stuff from Brad Newley, who hasn't had a ripping start to the season, so a confidence builder for him right there.
Vickerman's gone to a couple of veterans early in this one as Travers now. Couldn't get the first one to go, but got the board back. And Majok will go to the free throw line.
I think it's okay.
The third offensive rebound now. No doubt Dean Vickerman would have been addressing that in the huddle. This is a team, as I said, haven't really been getting on the offensive glass throughout the season, but you don't want their first night where they create extra opportunities to be against you.
Yeah, you really don't. It could be a long night.
This season, with thanks to MG, we're giving away a brand new MG ZS EV electric car valued at $44,990. Enter now at nbl.com.au/winmg. That look good in your driveway.
I tell you what, very nice.
There's Rajon Tucker. Yet to get on the score sheet. Watch checks in as well for Melbourne United. So flicking the changes early is Dean Vickerman. Shot clock down to 2. Got to get it away, Tucker. Couldn't get the floater to fall. And as he's done so well this year, been getting on the rebounds, and now Rattan Mays gets the easy layup.
Yeah, he's got to get going now. You put Chris to the bench, he's got to be the scoring guy. Making plays offensively, getting downhill, creating for others. That's what he does best. He's so hard to guard.
And when Bryce Cotton has a spell, Corey Webster's the man they want to see step up. Just averaging the 9 points a game for the prolific scorer. That is Corey Webster, as Rattan Mays tries to continue on that hot form. Couldn't get that to fall. Cole Zunic checks into the game. Play any minutes on Friday night. Webster finds Travers. And again, Rajon Tucker attacking the glass. I said the last 3 weeks, the last 3 games he's played, he's had double-doubles. 13 boards, 13 points on Saturday night. Return Mays starts to get warm.
Right on cue. Call for it, Creaky. An aggressive Xavier Return Mays these last couple of possessions.
Yeah, he's another guy that Cotton Island's somewhere you don't want to be, but I reckon XRM Island is just as scary.
Oh no, he took his cookies.
There's Tucker with the steal and the slam. Malawatch.
We've been waiting for McQuatch Malawatch to get on the runway. Blew up during the off-season with a big throwdown for the Darwin Salties in the NBL1, and here Tucker takes it away, finds Malawatch in stride, and he soars above the rim.
Of course, always extra motivation for Melbourne United. Each and every dunk this season, their major partner DoorDash will donate $250 to the Victorian Food Bank, which is equivalent to 500 meals. You see some faces in the crowd all dressed up Halloween. There's Helen Nolan in the front row. A couple of kids, good to see.
Okay. Little shout out.
Yeah. Spotted one in the crowd. Public holiday tomorrow, so a few kids are able to stay out late tonight.
No doubt.
Done their trick-or-treating and then come to the basketball.
Mine should be in bed at this point, if they're listening.
Have you seen the opening term? Mitch made a good start.
Yeah, it's been up and down. You know, at the halfway point of the quarter, it was, 17-15, a lot of points getting up. I think once the teams kind of settle into it, obviously 2 games in a weekend for Perth is always going to be a hard one. It's a long road trip. We just did it as well, but you know, you want to see them kind of start to find their feet on the road, and Melbourne have to really start to extend this lead out if they want to try and defend home court after a bit of a slow start to the home games this season.
Something positive for Melbourne, who have been really struggling with their offense over the course of the season thus far. Is they've been up and about in this first quarter. Their best first quarter of the season was 25 against Sydney in round 4, and there's a minute and a half remaining. They're just a bucket off that right now.
That's a good point. Melbourne second last so far in the competition, points for and field goal percentage. Good to see them with some points early in this one as Bryce Cotton comes back in. Shea Illy. It's the matchup we want to see is Webster. Reckless there, good defence from Rajon Tucker. And that'll be a game delay.
Good deep from Tucker, got to the spot. And you're right, Creaky, we see that matchup now. Shea Illy guarding Bryce Cotton, and the way he fights over those screens takes opportunities away, and it forces the Wildcats into something different. The play was for Cotton. They have to go elsewhere, and in the end, the turnover results.
And that's just that build-up of pressure over time. Shea may not get a stop or a steal or create the turnover or whatever it is on the first or the second or the third, even in the first 3 quarters, but it's the extended pressure over a 40-minute game, and someone like Bryce who's always running off screens, a lot of actions, always a lot of attention, getting hit. By the end of the game, that's where that just little bit of wear, it starts to creep up, and hopefully, you know, we saw on the weekend, they miss a few ones late, and you know, sometimes it's the work in the first and second quarter that pays dividends in the fourth and the end of the game.
Brad Newley getting some early minutes in this one. Just averaging just over 10 minutes a game so far this season. Can't get that one to fall, but again, Tucker attacking the glass. That might be an offensive foul.
Clear. Great effort on the glass. Really athletic.
Use the ball.
Went after that rebound, and then yeah, just a bit overzealous there. Clearing space, really easy call for the official. See, just gets up, pulls it down, and then bang, just pushes Mitch Norton out of the way and picks up the personal.
Of course, his elbows got him in trouble late in that game against Illawarra on Saturday night. Almost coughed up a 6-point lead with less than 40 seconds to go. Melbourne United able to win it in double overtime.
Thanks, guys. 2 here.
I thought maybe that might have gone close to getting him in a little more trouble.
You think suspension
No,
potentially?
well, when I looked, I thought you know, in the review centre, I would have thought they would have very strongly considered a disqualifying foul with those bows and what he was doing. One to the guts and one that seemed to make contact up high. Ding Dang certainly sold it, as he has been known to do. But in the end, the unsportsmanlike was the call, and Tucker stayed out there on the floor.
Bryce Cotton makes both free throws. He's up to 8 points already. Again, Newley looking to be aggressive. Didn't finish the layup. We're inside the final 30 seconds of this entertaining first quarter. Off hands from Melbourne United, so it'll stay a Perth ball.
Still no Todd Blanchfield. Checking back in.
It's worrying. A little concerning. It's odd.
I didn't notice any knock that he took, and the fact that he's talking about being a bit dizzy as he walked off the floor is certainly something of a concern.
Here's Wagstaff. Back to Cotton for an easy lay-in, and he's helped himself to 10 first quarter points.
He's in one of those moods. He's definitely in one of those moods, I think. He loves playing here, John Cain. I think it's one of his best places he plays at. I know every single time we've played him here, he's always been really, really hot off the start.
And here's the final play of the first term, and they get their highest first term score of the season, Illy to Tucker. And what an entertaining first quarter of basketball we've got here. John Cain Arena, Monday night Halloween. Melbourne United, they lead the Perth Wildcats by 2 points. Quarter time here, John Cain Arena. It's a good game of basketball on our hands. Melbourne United lead the Perth Wildcats by 2 points. The league's leading scorer, Bryce Cotton, continuing on his form with 10 points. Chris Golding getting in on the act. Great to see Shea Ellie back in the highlight of the first term. To Malawatch. We see some of the celebrities in the house, a regular at the Melbourne United games, Matthew Lloyd.
Loves it.
Ready, guys? Here we go.
Essendon legend. My favourite player.
Oh, you're an Essendon man?
Yeah, love it.
Good man.
Dad and sister, all Essendon. Mum, silly collywoggles. She always sat outside when the Anzac Day match was on.
Oh, it's just been a rough trot for us.
Wide open in the corner, Lockie Barker.
What a way to enter the game. Started in Illawarra the other night. Lockie Barker checks in to begin this second quarter and goes whack from long range.
Former teammate of yours, Mitch?
Yeah, Lockie's a great worker. someone who I absolutely love playing with, someone I wish we could have played more as well. He's an automatic walking bucket from when he gets out of bed until he goes to sleep.
Reckless pass from Rattan Mays there. Is the block from Aquera at the other end. Trying stuff. It was Travers, the dunk.
Here we go. One.
Melbourne's out to a little 5-point lead early in this second term. Rich Norton's got the 5 points. Cotton this time sets up Travers, who's wide open. Great work from Wagstaff. He wanted to put the ball on the floor, realised he couldn't. Gets it to Webster, who looks to be aggressive on Golding, draws the foul from Humphries.
Good take from Webster. Recognised the situation late in the shot clock. Ball's in his hands, knows he needs to make a play, and that's what they like about having Corey Webster in this lineup. The ability to have not just Bryce Cotton, but someone else out there who can create their own shot off the bounce. Hasn't really fully got going yet this season, but Perth Wildcats fans, John Riley will be looking for more of that.
It's going to take time, I think. It's a new system, you know, whole different ball game when you go to a new coach, new superstars around you, you know, and Bryce has got a lot of attention. So I think when Bryce does get going in the first quarter like he had, 10 points, I think this is where Corey can come in.
And this season, thanks to Latrobe Financial, we're giving away a guaranteed $50,000. Enter now nbl.com.au/legends for your chance to win. Rattan Mays, just 4 points, coming off 32 points in that double overtime win against Illawarra. He was so instrumental in overtime. There's Barker, as you spoke about, Mitch, just short on that one. Here's Manick with a nice touch.
Good movement without the ball there from Manick. Cotton got caught in the air. Manick got to the spot, and he's active. A little bit more physical with Isaac Humphries. He's getting on the defensive glass. It's there, right there, his first bucket of the game.
Golding gets it inside to Humphries. Almost good defence from Manick, but called for the foul.
It's clear it's a matchup that they will be looking to go to. If the Wildcats are going to roll with this undersized lineup, Manick, the undersized 5, that Melbourne will seek out opportunities to pound it inside to Isaac Humphries.
Ruben, coach warning.
Might have been a little bit stiff there too. Nice little challenge, but I think that's where one of Isaac's strengths is. Get him down on the block, let him make some plays and go to work in there.
You heard John Riley just get a warning from the refs. Does get quite animated, doesn't he, John Riley?
He was fiery in the pre-season. I think he just worked his way into a nice little mode here in the regular season where he's just taking a few deep breaths from time to time.
He knows it's an important game. They want to try and get to 4 and 3, the Perth Wildcats, get back up into 4th spot. I said they've lost 3 on the trot. Blanchfield, good to see him back in the game. Cotton fires it straight to Blanchfield, who's been struggling from long range the last 3 games. Couldn't get that to fall. Now Rattan Mays wants to go straight at Cotton. Good defence. I'll go at it again. Rattan Mays shows his class.
It's a tough shot. That's what he does. He makes tough shots. He's an absolute bucket getter. We've all seen his social media excellence that he has performing every single day. He's got a plethora of moves, and he's so hard to defend.
Aquera again, another block. Do it on both ends and then finds Rattan Mays. And he's starting to heat up.
Big play from David Aquera. Sparking offense from rim protection.
2 blocks already for Aquera. Blanchfield just gets that to fall. Might just be a 2. He might have had a toe on the line. I think he did. Good for his confidence. Where I thought about it. I'll get the ball back to Rattan Mays. Let him go to work. Puts a little move on Blanchfield. Just rims out. The lead hasn't been bigger than 5 points for either team as Webster gets that one rejected by Barlow.
This play here from Webster, the block from Barlow. They miss Brady Manick on the pick and pop, which is his bread and butter. Right there, you've got your man open on the arc. That's what they brought. That's the shot, the exact shot they brought Brady Manick in to be able to knock down, and just got to start to find him in those spots.
Almost an uncharacteristic turnover. Perth Wildcats, number 1 in the competition for the turnovers committed, only 10 a game.
I think if you're Brady Manick, you really need to put your hand up and come into those huddles and actually call one for yourself as well and say, hey, guys, I need the ball. You know, a superstar should never be afraid to say, hey, you know, it's been a few trips, I haven't got a good look. Let's run something, get a pick-and-pop action. Something simple, at least get it through his hands, let him set a screen on Bryce, play a little two-man game, and just kind of flow it from there. But he's got to have the confidence to step up and make those calls as well.
Rajon Tucker with the athletic finish as Bryce Cotton responds at the other end.
It just never stops. Bryce Cotton. This is a small lineup for Melbourne United. Now, Majook's come in. He's going to man the middle for the Wildcats. Meanwhile, Dave Barlow as the undersized 5-man for Melbourne as Golding picks up the foul, and Melbourne think about applying the challenge.
Chris Golding not happy. Comes off just the 3 points. Chris Golding, 1 of 4 from beyond the arc so far in this one. As I said, just averaging that 13.5 points a game, his lowest tally since 2012. And that'll be an offensive foul.
22. Moving.
You see here, Majook, just a little slight late movement across to the left to make sure he makes contact. Kind of half-heartedly calls for the flop.
Yeah, look, big fella, I think you take that on the chin.
You might just need to wear that one.
Yeah, keep it walking.
Well, Tucker's out there having an impact. Fighting over the screen, that's what Dean Vickerman wants at the defensive end. He's got the 4 points, he's got the 4 rebounds. Just trying to find ways to be effective.
Certainly can't question his... Oh, look at that! I was going to say his intensity, then right on cue, he goes upstairs.
Well, that's maybe the best way to go about it. Working his way into the game on the boards and defensively, and then right here on the Amy replay, bang! Takes it to the top level.
There's the Amy replay. The hustle's been there, and now he's getting some reward on the scoreboard. He's feeling good about himself.
That's the energy right there. You need that. You need guys in your team that can beat their chest, that can get everyone else going, spark them from the bench or on the court. Whoever it is, they've just got to have that energy, and that just goes throughout the team. And when you're struggling a little bit, both these teams have struggled the last couple of weeks a little bit, but that's what it's going to take. Energy from guys, making plays, but also passing around to other guys. It's infectious, and that's what the teams need.
Well, let's get down to courtside. Drew Jones has a couple of VIPs with him.
Yeah, Halloween brings out all the stars. Joel Creasy and Danny Minogue. Joel, you're a Perth fan. Cheery hard tonight.
I'm a Perth boy. I live in Melbourne, so I've got to bet each way tonight.
Everyone's a winner. Hey, Danny, we always see you here. Why do you love the basketball so much?
I love it because it's such a family event. It's exciting. It's music. It's entertainment. Exhilaration. I love everything about it.
And you've got into the spirit with the Halloween?
Yeah, Danny and I love in our spare time to just go and shoot some hoops down the local park. We're always down there together, yeah.
What do you think tonight? Who's going to win?
Whoever has the highest score.
That's very adept. I like your basketball knowledge just coming through. Danny, Joel, thanks for your time.
Thank you.
Enjoy the game.
Fair to say they're having a good time there. Joel Creasy's up and about.
Very good time. Big first quarter.
Good looking shot on Danny though. I reckon she'd average 12 with that form. It was good.
Points?
Yeah, 12 points,
Okay.
easy.
All right.
Yeah. She'd get
Joel
a few buckets out
Creasy?
there. 3.
Rajon Tucker finishes off that three-point play. He's up to the 7 points and 4 boards. As we said, playing with a lot of intensity. These are the Melbourne United. It's a game-high 8-point lead now. Tick down in this first half. Bryce Cotton having a spell on the bench. Webster finds Zunic. Anili wants to get it back to Tucker. They'll pull it out and run their set. Barlow to Newley. Again, the veterans working well together, and they'll get to the strike.
Good action on that weak side. Barlow with the flash. Newly good read on the back cut. That's where Rajon Tucker, I feel, though, needs to just be maybe that little bit more aggressive. Duck in, post up. He had the mismatch there with Kyle Zunic. Could have overpowered him down low. In the end, they get a trip to the free throw line.
Brad Newley, 18th season in the NBL, 289 games. And having an impact here in this one. Misses both. Perth offense just spluttering a little bit in this second term. Blanchfield kicks it out to Travers, who again's got all the time in the world. Just can't get that to drop.
Needs to knock that down. That's his third really good look from long range.
Here's that mismatch.
Good play from Rajon Tucker.
Simple basketball, really simple basketball. Smart decision by Tucker. Sees the mismatch, watches the weak side come a little early. Hits the man right in the pocket, knocks it down.
Another watch, it was wide open. Travers still yet to score. Was able to find there Corey Webster.
There he is on the Amy replay. You're talking about, Creaky. Just a good read from Tucker. Sees the help coming from the other side, and he finds the open man. On the other end, the Wildcats need to keep moving. Webster, Cotton, Blanchfield. You've got two guys now at the 4 and the 5, Travers and Sean Thomas, who are both really good passers of the basketball. So get some plenty of player movement. Play off those guys, those elbow catches, and you'll get some good looks.
Kind of looks like Perth not really running a whole bunch of sets at the moment. You know, Perth of old, you know, a lot of flex action, a lot of down screen, cross screen action, some side pick and roll. But at the moment, it's kind of, you know, 1 or 2 dribbles, pass. You know, they're not really getting through all their sets. I don't think the way John would really want them to. But when they do run a good clean set, you know, they're getting good looks. So you want to try and see Bryce here steady the ship. Luke Travers at the point even.
Ratan Mays got that little mid-range game working nicely.
Loves the post-up. Ratan Mays, big guard. So he took Cotton down low, he's taken Norton down low, and he's shooting over the top.
Blanchfield now. Still just struggling a bit in three-point range. Not this man, though, Bryce Cotton.
Oh, boy.
He's up to 15.
I feel like if he's on NBA 2K, he's always green light. Like, it always goes ding every time.
Shot clock down to single figures. Good look from Ratan Mays. Been doing that better in recent games, isn't he? Just being a facilitator. Back out to 10 points. Here's Cotton. Good defense from Tucker.
Hands foul.
maybe just a little bit of frustration from Bryce Cotton.
Hands.
Heads up play from Ratan Mace there as he got past Cotton. Knew the little master was going to reach in from behind, so made sure he put it back on his left. Then he played out the contact here as he gets his shoulder in front. Could have been an offensive foul. Bang, puts it over to his left. Feels the contact on his right. Draws the foul on Cotton.
15 for Cotton, but the scary side is, you know, Corey Webster 6, Nordo 5, to Sean Thomas 4. We need these guys to step up. We talked about Toddy Blanch and Manick being key guys to step up, 2 points each apiece. I want to try and see them working this game in the late in the second term here.
Well, they've had good looks. You take Cotton out of the equation and the rest of the team are 0 for 9 from long range.
When you look at Melbourne United, they're shooting at 70% from the field and 50% from three-point range. So is that sustainable? Can they continue that form, United? Perth just hang in there.
Well, those kind of numbers aren't 70% from the field. No, but so they need to ramp up their effort defensively, but also you just got to knock down some shots. Manick's had open looks. Luke Travis has had open looks. So has Blanchfield, Webster. None of those guys have been able to find the range from downtown.
Go, 6. Don't hold, Dave.
Just the 13 points in this second quarter for the Perth Wildcats. There's Thomas. Oh, wow. Sure if he meant to bank that.
Yeah, it's that was...
I'm giving him that.
Are you?
That was Big Bundy.
Kidding.
That was Big Bundy.
That was...
Doesn't matter. Goes in the book as 2 points. There's Tucker again. Looks to be aggressive. Draws the foul.
If we ask him in an interview, I guarantee he lies and says he meant that.
Oh, that's... Oh, yeah. Here he is. A little lefty pull-up. Oh. And a soft little kiss off the glass.
That clipped the top left corner.
Picture perfect. As Cotton picks up his second personal down the other end. They're going at him.
Is that a tactic of teams, Mitch, to try and attack Bryce Cotton on the defensive end? You know, he puts so much work on the offensive end. He's a good defender, but you try and attack him.
You try and make a concise effort to put him in a lot of actions, because if he's going to play so hard at the offensive end, yes, he's a great defender, yes, he's very athletic and has good effort, but the more you put him in action, you know, it takes away his legs, takes away his arms, a little bit wrestling, and that's maybe it saves you 1 or 2 makes a game. But if you don't put him in actions, he kind of just gets to sit at the other end and relax and walks down the other end and fills you up for 15 in the first half.
There's another good look, Liam. The Perth Wildcats had Brady Manick. Again, couldn't get that to drop.
Good look to Sean Thomas, finding Manick, his front court partner on the arc. And you're right, he just couldn't hit it. Here he is getting on the glass. John really called for it.
That's
turnover.
Bad turnover. Barlow. Couldn't make them pay. Here's Manick again. 11 points. Equal game high lead for United. Thomas underneath. Goes at it twice. 3 times. This time can he finish? No, he can't.
Just padding the stats.
Blue 20.
To Sean Thomas. The rim protection from Aquera again there. Just the length of that young man, causing problems around the rim.
It's a great work ethic, though, by Sean Thomas. Second, third, fourth efforts, playing physical, really imposing himself early in this game. Got to look for him to keep being aggressive. I know he missed his last one. Oh, he banked his last one, sorry, but, you know, when he's being aggressive, just takes a little bit of stress off these other guys, lets them sit for a second or two, and then get them back in to get firing again.
Didn't play when these two teams last met round 3. Melbourne United beat Perth by 3 points at RAC Arena. 14 points on Friday night. So we tick down at most likely the final play of this first half. Melbourne shooting the lights out at 65%. Can they finish with some real momentum? It might be Barlow. Couldn't get it to fall. But Melbourne United and Dean Vickerman will be very pleased with what they've done in this first half, particularly on the offensive end. Been an issue for them most of the season, coming into this second worst scoring team in the competition, but they've put up 50 points at half-time. They've got a handy 10-point lead.
First time they've had 50 at half-time this season. Melbourne United coming in, averaging just 81.7 points per game. Lowest mark in franchise history. So you're right, they will be all kinds of happy with that offensive output.
Let's get courtside because Drew Jones has Shea Ely with him.
Shea, first game of the season, how you feeling?
Pretty good. It's good to get out there and help the boys.
Offense has been lacking a bit for United this season. It feels like things are starting to open up with you on the court.
Yeah, we had a great half. That half, if we share the ball and use everyone's abilities, we should be right.
You got a minutes restriction tonight?
I am.
You gonna try and break it?
Yeah, always trying to break it.
Good luck, go well.
Cheers.
And maybe no surprise that Melbourne's offense is just starting to flow with Shea Ely back in the lineup, but they'll be pleased at half-time. The Perth Wildcats coaching staff, they've got some thinking to do. It's Melbourne United leading the Wildcats by 10 points. Half-time at John Cain Arena, and it's Melbourne United with a handy 10-point lead. And this Halloween Monday night to finish round 5. What a wild round it has been. Rajon Tucker has certainly been playing with a lot of intensity. Bryce Cotton, as he's done so often, almost single-handedly keeping the Perth Wildcats in it at half-time. We're looking forward to a good second half of basketball. It's been a really entertaining game so far, but once again for the Perth Wildcats, it feels like it's Bryce Cotton and the rest of the team struggling to score.
It is. We've seen it only a few days ago against us, but you know, when he's the guy that's always got to be on, other guys have to step up and take a bit of that pressure off of him. When it's just one person kind of running the show, it makes life really hard for his consistency, especially in the second half as the season's gone on. He's kind of dropped off a little bit, so I want to try and see other guys step up.
For Melbourne United, Liam, it's been much more of an even spread. So Shea Illy's come back into the lineup, hit a couple of threes early, but Rajon Tucker, Rattan Mays, you know, everyone's been getting in on the act.
Lots of guys getting involved. And Shea Illy spoke there at half-time to Drew Jones saying, when we share the ball, everybody gets involved. We become hard to defend. Of course, it starts at the defensive end. You can get out in transition. They have 14 assists on their 19 made field goals, Melbourne United. So the ball's moving, they're playing together, and it's creating open avenues to the bucket like the one Rajon Tucker took advantage of right there. Now, of course, you got to maintain control of Bryce Cotton down the other end. That's the most important thing whenever you play the Wildcats. And as you look at the numbers, look at the shooting percentages. Plus 60% from the field for Melbourne, over 40% from three, and they've been getting a bit to the stripe. And on the flip side, the Wildcats having all kinds of struggles from long range. Cotton, he's 2 of 4. The rest of the squad is 0 for 10 from out there, and as a result, there are 10 points in arrears.
And they've had a lot of good looks, Mitch, but again, we spoke about Bryce Cotton. Influential as always, 15 points in that first half.
Yeah, look, he's unguardable. He really is. He's going to come off every single action with the intent to score at a high level. But it's the little things, backdoor plays like that, easy 2 points, you foul and you put him on the line, and then he gets in a bit of a rhythm. He sees one go through, he sees a second go through, and then he's starting to make plays. Makes life really hard for the defense, but you know, can he sustain that? That's the question we're going to ask and see in the second half.
Well, he's been playing a lot of minutes over the course of this season. We know he's putting up big numbers. He's the leading scorer again. There you see the shot chart of the 15 points, plus 50% from the field, and what he's been able to do in this first half. But we've seen this. He's averaging near on 15 points per game in first halves so far this season, just 7.5 points per game in second half. So it has been tailing off from time to time, and you know, that's when those minutes start to take a toll and others need to step up and they need to continue to find him good looks.
No doubt fatigue starts to become a factor, and he's going to need his teammates to knock down some shots in the second half if Perth Wildcats are to get back into this contest and just edge into that 10-point half-time deficit. They trailed by 2 points at quarter time. Of course, it is Halloween. There's a lot of kids out and they're all dressed up and looking forward to a big second half. Of course, also this season, with thanks to Latrobe Financial, we are giving away a guaranteed $50,000. Let's find out how.
Hey fans, this season with thanks to Latrobe Financial, we are giving away a guaranteed $50,000. And like these NBL legends, Wortho and Gibbo, you can be a Latrobe Financial legend. All you need to do is send in a clip of you making a half-court shot for your chance to win a semifinals opportunity to shoot from half court for $50,000. All thanks to Latrobe Financial. Head to the NBL website now to enter.
Half-time here, John Cain Arena. Melbourne United leading the Perth Wildcats by 10 points. Monday night basketball, Melbourne looking to go to 4-4 and get the 6th on the ladder. The Perth Wildcats trying to get to 4-3 and can sneak inside the top 4 as both teams are back out on the court warming up for a big second half. We speak about the ladder, the New Zealand Breakers 6-2 on top at the moment. This is the final game, of course, of round 5. The Sydney Kings are also 6-2. We might touch on maybe the hottest team in the competition at the moment, the Southeast Phoenix, in a moment, but we'll get back down to courtside because Drew Jones has a couple of fans alongside him.
Thanks, Joey. Yeah, so Halloween night here at John Cain Arena. Best Dressed is getting 2 tickets to Harry Potter here at half-time. Best Dressed in terms of Melbourne fans, it's hard to go past these parts. And gee whiz, haven't these boys had a little bit of airtime recently? Jamie, Josh and Brandon, they made the big car trip to Illawarra to see Melbourne get it done in double overtime, and they've backed it up. So before, Jamie, we talk about why you're here, how was the night out in Illawarra after the game?
Yeah, so it was pretty good after the game. We went and had a couple of celebratory frothies after the game. Then we headed home the next morning feeling a bit sorry for ourselves, but no, we enjoyed the game and it was great for United to get the win.
Confirmed you were okay to drive after a big night and then getting in the car the next day?
Well, I actually didn't drive. I'm still on my P plate, so I'm still going to be 0-0. So Brandon drove all 9 hours for Josh and I, so we just kept it safe.
No, well done. Josh, what did you think? Double overtime win, and then they're playing well again tonight.
Yeah, no, they went really well the other night. Good to get the win, needed it. And then tonight, it's come out pretty well. Hopefully hold on from here on out. So there we go.
Bit risky handing over the mic, but I'm doing it. I'm going rogue here because I've got to get Brandon into the game here. Brandon, we heard some talk from Matty Russell and the boys the other night. The playlist, a bit questionable in the car. Did the tunes improve on the way back?
Yeah, they definitely did. These two slept for about 2 hours, so I was in control, so they were definitely better.
Well done, boys. You've got a lot of TV time. Enjoy it. We'll see you next time.
Drew Jones doing some of his best stuff down there, courtside. They're going to get the third quarter underway. Perth Wildcats trying to break a 3-game losing streak, but at the moment, they're up against it. Very unusual for Perth to find themselves in this situation, particularly early in the season. But we know the spirit they play with. Thomas kicks it out to Blanchfield. Can he get something going in this second half? That's a good way to start.
Very good way to start. Exactly what the doctor ordered. Need to try and get Blanchfield going, and that's the first time anyone not named Bryce Cotton wearing a Wildcat jersey has knocked down a triple tonight.
Shea Ili will start this second half. Golding, just the 3 points. Man, that Humphries hasn't had much of an impact in this game. Shot clock's going to expire. Good defence from Perth.
Joe, you talk about the spirit that we know the Wildcats always play with. Creaky, I'm not sure we've seen that thus far in this first half. You know, the intensity, the camaraderie amongst the group. Not saying there's any chemistry issues here, but maybe just a little flat so far in this one for a team trying to stop a 3-game skid.
Yeah, look, anytime you drop a few games, obviously your backs are a bit more against the wall. Obviously the other night we go to Perth and sneak a win, but when you lose a close one like that, you want to come into the opposition's building and you want to put your foot down and say, we're here, we're not going anywhere. It's going to be a dogfight, and right now it's a little flat. You don't really see the guys, you know, tapping each other on the behind and pumping each other up, and you don't always need to do that, but at the same time, you need that energy and effort on the road, especially after dropping a few games in a row. So you look to see like someone like Bryce Cotton or even Toddy make a big play, get a good defensive stop as a team. You'd like to see everyone really celebrate it and get around each other.
Who is it, Liam, that can provide some energy other than Bryce Cotton for the Perth Wildcats? So we speak about Rajon Tucker. He might not be having the best night, but he's playing with that energy that's lifting everyone else around him. Who can do that?
Well, it's a really good question because they've got a lot of quiet dudes. And when you're on the road, as Screeky was just saying, you've got to make your own energy sometimes. And speaking with John Riley in the pre-season, he was talking about this, saying with Blanchfield, Norton, you know, Travers, these guys are all kind of quiet dudes as Blanchfield knocks in that one-handed push shot. And you're not sure where exactly that kind of energy is going to come from.
Maybe it is Todd Blanchfield. He's got all 5 points to start this third term. And they eat into this margin. There's 10 points only moments ago. Cotton going to stay on the floor.
Blue 59. Hand check before the shot.
And really, in that conversation, really was talking about it in terms of communication, especially at the defensive end. We've got to make sure that we're talking, because when you talk defensively, you can overcome some breakdowns and some issues by all being on the same page. But it also applies just to bring in some intensity to a game on the road.
Here's Blanchfield starting to feel good and starting to heat up. He's got 8 in this term, all 8. He's worked himself up to 10 points.
There's one of the two we talked about. Toddy's come to play now. We want to see Brady Manick come in soon and make an impact. Another person bringing a bit of offensive firepower. It's going to take a little bit of stress off Rice, but let's get a few stops. That's way too easy for Melbourne.
The feed from Tucker to Humphries, who's up to 8 points. Tan Mays leading United with 11. Frazier Tucker with 9.
Travel.
That'll be a travel.
Yeah, just lost his footing there. They're playing off Blanchfield right now, reading him off those turnouts. This is the pass Melbourne United have been working on and talking about to find Isaac Humphries, the extra pass. The hard show defensively. Tucker finds Humphries underneath.
Oh no, we're good.
I know they're in a contest now, United. John Riley's been able to get this Perth Wildcats offense going early. Rattan Mays, he's been knocking them down all night. Can't get that to fall. Good offensive board from Humphries, too big.
Strong from Isaac. You know, he's a big body. He gets in the right positions. You know, he's not the most athletic guy, but he just knows where to play, knows where to get his little spots.
And Thomas tries to go right at him at the other end. Turnover. See there, Perth haven't lost 4 in a row since December 2018, 127 games ago. So they are in uncharted territory as Aquera with a good finish.
Jeez, he's doing some good things out there, David Aquera.
Time out at one end, behind the back, transition, handoff action, quick slip.
Putting his playmaking skills on display. 4 points, a couple of boards, a couple of blocks, and 4 assists for Aquera thus far.
Well, we've been speaking about how even this competition is this season, Liam, but the team that's won 4 on the trot, probably the hottest team in the competition at the moment. Mitch's Southeast Phoenix, 2 big wins over the weekend, and none bigger than the game against Adelaide only yesterday.
This was a massive play, Craigie. Talk us through it.
Well, we came down. I thought I was almost going to have a layup. I thought Sauce, DJ was just going to let me have that one, but no mates rates on that. But look, just simple ball movement. Extra, 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 and then Rowdy. Mate, say less. That man has been absolutely amazing for us the last 2 games, and none bigger than this moment right here.
And the atmosphere was a pretty big crowd, and they got up and about in that moment.
Yeah, that was something else. That was one of the best feelings I've had in the game for a long time. Just, you feel the tension, you know, with a big shot like that, you make it, and the crowd just goes bananas. You know, you want to reward your fans. We lost a few at home earlier in the season. To go and get one like that, you know, the fans deserve more than we do.
It's a good time to be finding your form, because your next game is against Melbourne United Sunday, the first Melbourne throwdown of the season, so good time to come.
Yeah, definitely is. First one of the year, hey? This is, it's exciting. It's, you know, there's always a good rivalry, both Melbourne teams there, and all the comments get thrown out, the big brother, little brother, everything going on, but at the moment it's just 2 teams going out there to play hard, and you know, I'm excited to play this new look Melbourne team, and hopefully they get a few more bodies back and get everyone else 100%, so we can go out there. We've got everyone back now, so hopefully things kind of keep going on the upward trajectory for us.
United have still got a game to win first. We're going to take care of Perth at home tonight, and that's a turnover. Rattan Mays, good feed into Tucker. He was surrounded, so he did the right thing, kicked it out to Aquera. Left it short.
You're right, he did do the right thing. That's the unselfishness that Shayeli was talking about at half-time. Was a touchdown pass, beautiful pass. Nearly set Tucker up for the finish, but in the end, a good kick out, wide open look from long range.
Of course, Perth will back up Thursday night against the Jack Jumpers back at RAC Arena.
Again, there's the action they're running for Todd Blanchfield. Flex cut, a la the old Trevor Gleeson era. And Chris Golding was out of position, picks up the foul.
Here's Cotton. Still on at 15 points at half-time. And now Golding will try his luck. And good hustle from United. I'll get a second look at it. Shot clock down to 3. Aquera's going to have to create something, and he's done well to draw a foul.
He's having a nice night, David Aquera. First weekend in the starting lineup. Meanwhile, Tashawn Thomas needs to lock in a blocking out at the defensive end. Isaac Humphries, he's a little undersized against a guy like Humphries. And that's where you've really got to use your body to clear a guy like that out. Now, he gets the offensive rebound there. He got a little tap on it. But Tucker was able to clean it up. But those extra possessions worth their weight in gold.
And it's great to see Aquera really develop his game. You know, you see now 4 points, 4 assists, couple of rebounds, couple of blocks, done some really good stuff defensively as well. So, you know, he's starting to make the most of his time. He's maturing as a player, and the experience is just going to make him a better player as the seasons go on. So he's a good project to watch, and I think he's going to be a star of the league to come.
Second consecutive game starting. Growing with confidence. Back out to 9 points after Perth were able to close it within 2 earlier in this third term. 10 points the margin at halftime. Travers really yet to get going in this game. Manic still struggling from beyond the arc.
You like his confidence. He comes in, he lets it fly, in rhythm, feet set. You want him to shoot those ones. You just got to let him keep getting them up, keep being aggressive.
Sean Thomas, attacker in good defense from Humphries. And now Tucker looking to attack. And just pulls it out. And now Golding from the logo. There's Webster. Thomas, nice touch.
It's in his game now. Very nice, 9 points for Thomas right now.
Just had a little birdie tell me too. Mitchell, then throw down next week on Sunday will be your 100th game for the South East Phoenix.
There you go. You reckon Tommy Greer will get me a nice watch or something?
You should deserve something, milestone game.
Come on, Grizzle, man. What are you reckon? Did he hook up Kyle Adnam? He brought up his 100 the other night.
If I say right now I got him a Rolex, does it mean he has to get me one, even if he didn't do it?
Talk your way, you know what?
Peer pressure.
Amy replayed it. Alan Webster's. Tucker made a play. Humphries will kick it out. Here's Rattan Mays looking to be aggressive. And a classy finish.
Very classy. Just as Creaky was talking about before, just such a tough cover. He puts it on the deck and attacks the rim. 13 points now. He's the team leading scorer.
Cotton looking to get going in this third term. Leaves it short. And another board to Tucker. Chris Golding.
43.
Called for the offensive foul. That'll be his third. Take a look at this Amy replay again. Xavier Rattan-Mays, he's chock full of confidence at the moment, isn't he?
It was a good job from Humphries, just reading the defense, slipping out of that screen. And then Rattan-Mays says, you know what, this is a mismatch. Can't stay with me. Puts it on the deck, gets right to the cup.
He's up to 13 points, 6 of 10 from the field. Go along with 5 rebounds and an assist. Shayeli called for the foul. Hopefully he's okay. Yeah, of course, coming back from concussion.
Well, it was his 4th foul. That's why he's coming back out. Frustrated, he said, I knew I was in foul trouble. What was I thinking?
That one hurts too. You clip the back of his foot. It's like your younger brother. You just kick him in the back of the foot when he's walking in front of you and trip him over.
Still shaking his head, but I'm sure he's just happy to be out there. He's played the 10 minutes. I believe maybe about 15 was his limit tonight. But he's had an impact. 6 points, 3 assists. Doing some nice things on the defensive end. Another watch, just got his foot off the ground. Call for the travel. can't quite peg back this deficit, the Perth Wildcats. And that's going to be an unforced turnover against Corey Webster. As we said, they commit the least amount of turnovers in the competition, the Perth Wildcats, which crept up to 8 in this one.
They were flowing to begin this third quarter. Todd Blanchfield was knocking out shots. There was some energy about the Wildcats. They have been able to cut it, the margin a little. It was 10 at the half, now it's 7. The defense has been on point, but they've lost a little bit of that pep in their step here in these last couple of minutes.
Rattan Mays able to split the defence, swing the ball, good ball movement from United. And Nullwatch, he's having himself a nice night.
Up to 8 now. Looking good out there. Couple of threes. Got the big dunk in transition before. Just making the most of his time. Just simple plays and beautiful ball movement here. Extra pass, one more. Great team basketball. It's what you love to see when the ball's popping like that. Good things happen.
Mostly thanks to Latrobe this season. We're giving away a guaranteed $50,000. All you need to do is enter now at nbl.com.au/legends for your chance to win. As Mitch Norton knocks down both of those free throws, 5 from 5 for him from the stripe, 7 points. Again, they just hang around within 8 points. Lockie Barker back into the lineup. Rattan Mays again looking to be aggressive. This time pulls up, toe was on the line. But he's feeling it, he's up to 15 points, 7 of 11 shooting. Wagstaff long on that free.
There's a danger period for Perth now. 10 points. We always talk about that 11 and 12-point lead. This is make or break.
Barlow again to Newley. He's missed a couple of layups tonight. Bit of a let off there. Can they make them pay Perth? Norton misses a layup the other end. Now they've got 4v3 in transition here, Melbourne. Barker wide open.
Oh, geez. They dodged some bullets there. The Wildcats. Layup, and then wide open triple. Opportunity's gone begging for Melbourne.
Manick thought about it. Gives it to Webster. Shot clock down to 5. Stagnant here on offense, Perth. Great defense from Melbourne.
Oh.
And in the end, Webster made something out of nothing.
Yeah, that was not probably the offense they drew up in the huddle. Come on.
It would have been quite some squiggly lines on that whiteboard.
That's just a scorer knowing how to score. They needed that. Rattan Mays. He's heating up John Cain Arena.
He really is. Got himself up and about now. 18 is the game-leading scorer. 8 of 12 from the field. Rattan Mays. And he's warming himself up from long range.
Webster. Couldn't get that one to rattle home. Coming in tonight, he was 5th in the competition for scoring, Rattan Mays. Coming off 32 points in that double overtime win against Illawarra. Now he draws the foul and he'll get to the free throw line.
We were talking before about the quiet Wildcats, the lack of communication, a concern for John, really. This play a couple of moments ago, Rattan Mays here. Travers thinks it's a switch. Brady Manick thinks it's a hard show. No communication. And Rattan Mays is open from long range.
But even that, just the body language there of Luke Travers and Manick, both, no one communicates to each other after the plays happen. Yes, there's a breakdown, the communication isn't there, but it's just the negative kind of body language that kind of doesn't exude confidence to the rest of your teammates. As long as you can just turn around and say, hey, what are we doing? Are we switching this? Are we hard showing this? Okay, we're on the same page. You get that bit of communication, smack them on the bum, and you say, okay, next play. And that's what you want to try and see right now if you're Perth. Back end of a double, on the road, long flight, but Just those simple little plays can go a long way.
Melbourne's 6-point win against Illawarra the other night was their highest winning margin of the season. They've won their 3 games so far by 4, 3 and 6 points. So the only team yet to win a game in double figures. And now they've got it out to 13 points. Inside the final minute, and they generate something. Travis yet to score in this one. There he goes, gets himself his first points of the night.
You talked that into existence.
Yeah, he said have that.
Hasn't had a big impact, Luke Travers. Usually a stat sheet stuffer. 2 points, 1 board, a couple of dimes for him tonight, and just hasn't really been able to have a massive impact.
Ball movement again by United. Barker had his feet set in the corner. And Perth will get the final play of this third quarter. Can they get it to single figures? Just give themselves a bit of momentum. Cotton wants everyone to clear out, and he attacks the rim, and Aquarius says, no way! Get out of here! And the crowd are up and about at this one. And his teammates appreciate what he's delivered in this game. And Melbourne United will go into three-quarter time chock full of confidence, and they lead the Perth Wildcats by 11 points as we take a look at the replay. He's helping himself to a really nice game, both ends of the floor. That's his third block shot, and his teammates appreciate it. Melbourne United, with all the answers, they're leading this one 69-58 three-quarter time. Monday night basketball. Melbourne United have been able to extend their lead at every break. It was 2 at quarter time, 10 at half time, and they lead by 11 at three-quarter time off the back of this man, Xavier Rattan-Mays. 9 points in that third term, 20 for the game, 8 of 12 shooting, and he's just continuing his red-hot form.
He's been terrific. Throw the 7 boards in there as well, and he just sensed some opportunities in that third quarter. Got aggressive, took advantage, and ticked the scoreboard over. There you see the line. Meanwhile, for the Wildcats, Bryce Cotton really quiet. 0 for 3 from the field in that third quarter. Just the 2 points from the stripe. We spoke at halftime about how he has been a bit quieter in second halves than to open the game, and it's playing a script so far.
Yeah, it is, and you see Perth scoring dry up a little bit. Someone like Manning hasn't really stepped up in this game just yet. 2 points to his name, but Toddy came alive for a little bit, helped them tick it over. But, you know, we talked about it at the start of the show. If Bryce isn't the one contributing to these points, who's the guy that steps up and continually puts them on the board? So I want to try and see him have a big final quarter or see a couple other guys step up.
Averages almost 15 points a game in first halves and just 7 in second halves, Bryce Cotton.
That was a 4th foul onto Sean Thomas right then. Travel called on Chris Golding. His frustrating night continues. Hasn't really been able to get going, but really is going to roll with Thomas here. I think they can play through Thomas a little bit at the offensive end. He can face up and is a willing passer. But he's going to have to be careful. One more foul and that's all she wrote for him for the evening.
Yeah, Corey Webster also with the 4 fouls. Shea Illy, 4 fouls for Melbourne United. Dave Barlow and Chris Golding with the 3. Can they eat into this margin, the Perth Wildcats? Or will it be 4 losses on the trot? First time since December 2018. Wagstaff, can he get them going? The skipper.
Waggers, big shots. He's shooting about 90% for the season.
He's shooting the heck out of it. Comes in shooting 53% from 3 on the season. And he just has an ability to hit big shots in big moments. Every time the Wildcats just need someone to step up. Look, their bodies and the numbers get thrown at Cotton. Wagstaff's ready to fire.
Bryce Cotton there averaging that 22.5 points a game. Number 1 in the competition again. And Chris Golding continuing with his struggles, just 1 of 6 from the field. Knocks down the first. Lead back out to 10.
That's a heck of a stat. Haven't lost 4 in a row since 2018. It's before the old Southeast Melbourne Phoenix were even born.
There's Cotton with a turnover.
Oh, wow.
Oh, Aquera.
Oh,
wasn't sure what he was going to do.
Oh, no. He had
bit of a brain fake.
He thought he was going to find Chris Golding the whole time down the floor, and then the door closed and nothing was happening.
They might be on Shacked and the Fool this week.
I'll tell you, Santa was watching.
Here's Thomas playing with the 4 fouls. Blanchfield got 8 quick points in that 3rd term. And he might be the man.
Well, here they come. Wagstaff, Blanchfield. Guys not named Cotton chiming in from long range. Just what the doctor ordered for Perth.
The support cast may have arrived, although Tucker continuing on his strong night. Up to 11 points, 7 boards. And 3 consecutive double-doubles. Almost on track for a 4th. Aquera right up. Wagstaff. Thomas. Tried to lay it off for Cotton. In the end, he'll go alone. Almost good defence from Wagstaff.
It's worth noting, I think, at this point here, game's on the line. Here, start of the 4th quarter.
Thank you.
The elephant in the room there at John Cain Arena, for me, is checking back into the game right now. It's Brady Manning. It's the import power forward that they brought in out of UNC, the Wildcats, who they're relying on to put some points on the board. Coming off the bench tonight, just trying to work his way into the NBL and into his pro career. And he's got 2 points, 1 of 4 from the field. Hasn't been able to have an impact. Now would be a good moment to get himself going.
Mays can't get that to fall. So there's a lot of talk about Melbourne United roster. And do they make any changes? If Perth lose 4 on the trot, do they start thinking about it, Liam?
Well, here is Manic in the block, demanding it. To see an aggressive mindset there. Look, the Wildcats won't sit on their hand this season, make the same mistake as what they did last year. Now, will it be this week? No, I don't think so. There's water to go under the bridge. Heck, they've got a 500 record right now, let's not forget. They might dip under if they can't work their way back here. But they made that mistake last season, waited too long to replace Michael Frazier, and the season slipped away. They won't sit in their hands this season.
Here's Illy, who was hot early. And he nails his third triple, 3 from 3 in his return. And he's given Melbourne United a boost.
Just great to see. Seeing someone lose, you know, a few weeks of basketball and not really know how he's going to come back and really fit in, but straight away, 3 of 3. And there's our man, Manning. He needs to get going. He needs to get Manning.
It's Manning Monday.
Needed that. Thomas will bring the ball down the floor. Finds Cotton, who got some separation.
Boy.
Bang, bang.
Just back to 7 points. They won't go away.
There you go.
Oh, boy.
3-point hit from Manick and a bucket from Cotton. We've got ourselves a ball game.
So just hanging around, 7 points. Bryce Cotton's up to 19. Blanchfield getting in on the act. We've seen Wagstaff make one. Brady Manick make one. And Melbourne, if you're Melbourne United, Mitch, you're slightly concerned or you're still pretty comfortable?
You just got to steady the ship a little bit right now. Take a deep breath. Understand time and score. You're still up 7. You know, that's 3 shooting possessions they have to make. Your defense is key now. You know, Bryce gets an easy one. Manick walks into one. Wagstaff earlier off a bad pick and roll defense. But just take the air out of it. Run a good half-court set. Get a stop. And I think they'll be okay.
Melbourne United looking for back-to-back wins to get the 500. Build a bit of momentum into their season. The Perth Wildcats still got a bit left in them here. It might be their 3-point game that just gets them back in this contest, the Perth Wildcats. They were 2 for 14 from 3-point range at half-time. Since they've been 5 from 8. We'll take a look at the Amy replay. And it's the support cast all getting involved. Manick, Blanchfield and Wagstaff. And maybe they can just take a little bit of pressure off Bryce Cotton.
Well, everybody needs to get involved here. Step it up at the defensive end. Get some stops and be ready to fire. Travers hasn't had a big night. Manick hasn't had a big night. But if you have some big moments down the stretch and you get your ball club a win, everything's good.
Maquera. That just rings out. Thomas, Cotton, Blanchfield, Travers and Manick on the floor for Perth. Rattan, Mays, Barlow, Aquera, Golding and Illy. We tick under 6 minutes. Can they eat into this margin? Blanchfield, way off. Illy always looking to probe. Terrific feed for the cutting Golding. And Melbourne just continue to find a way to answer. It's keeping the Perth Wildcats at bay. Thomas. Travers thought about it. Looks to attack. Well done, Melbourne. Swarming defence. And now they've got the 3v2. Illy's 3 from 3, gives it up, gets it back. And in the end, they got that possession back.
Well, that was wild. Scrap that from the tape. But the defense from the Wildcats, right at the time when everybody needs to step up, Todd Blanchfield falls asleep. Thinks Chris Golding's sitting in the corner, but he's not. He's cutting back door. Easy layup at the rim. The Wildcats down by 9.
Especially with Shea, off those on balls, you know he's not going to be a guy that just steps behind and just shoots it every single time. But when he's getting downhill, you've got to stay home. Make him finish over the taller guys.
Golding! That's a dagger.
He's in double figures now. Golding coming up big in big moments.
And then Rattan Mays with the defence.
Legal guarding position.
He's done, he did that in Illawarra. Reg on top.
When the ball's... No, he didn't. He had legal guarding position.
There's the defense there from Ratan Mays, but he just drives into this guy, expects the whistle, flops a bit, doesn't get it, and the turnover results.
We've got top blocks going on over here. He can't let that penetration. He's staying in front. He's staying in front.
Vickerman's talking to Ratan Mays there, saying we're top blocking Bryce Cotton and Todd Blanchfield on the weak side, so you don't have help. Sit down, stay in front of Mitch Norton, take those driving lanes away.
If you saw the game the other night, you would have seen XRM, speak after the game. Double OT, made some huge plays, but just the emotion he carried. He and I have spent a lot of time together in the off-season working out and with Jordan Lawley and the team over in LA, but just the way he speaks about the game and what he was talking about, the passion and the energy and how much it means to him and as it means to a lot of us. To see someone like that play a great game and then be emotional, just in an interview, it shows how much these guys put into it and how much we put ourselves through. So, you want to see that from the players, and someone like him is an absolute role model for kids and every other basketballer, male and female, young and all around the world.
And playing with a bit of a crook ankle too, I think. Ratan Mays, so doing a terrific job. For the first time a game of NBL was played on Halloween, 31st of October, was back in 1993.
Oh my.
And it was when the Melbourne Tigers defeated the Perth Wildcats to win their first NBL championship. Isn't some of this footage legendary?
Yeah, wow. This is on Halloween.
Yep.
It's haunted some Wildcats fans for near on 30 years at this point. And what an iconic moment that was.
We've all seen this footage.
Father and son finally breaking through, and Drew just completely losing his biscuits.
What a team that was. Halloween 1993. There's a fan pulling out the retro Tigers singlet. Good turnout tonight. Of course, public holiday in Melbourne tomorrow for the Melbourne Cup. So a 4-day weekend for a lot of folk down in Melbourne. And they're enjoying what they're seeing from their team tonight. Looking to make it back-to-back wins and get the 500. Time's starting to be a factor now, Mitch, for the Perth Wildcats.
Yeah, it is. This is it now. You've got to really go on a bit of a run here, get some stops defensively. You see on the other one, Toddy falls asleep, gets a backdoor, easy layup. Simple possessions like that are absolute backbreakers right now, but Melbourne are going to look to put this one away right now, so we'll see what happens.
Ratan Mays, the 20-point season, open lane, kicks it out. This has been the unselfishness of United all night, and now Rajon Tucker gets in on the act.
Well, we spoke about it. That's 15 points now. You almost think for Perth it's nearly out of reach.
And again, the active hands from XRM. Now it's going to be tough for the Wildcats, and now it's party time! Rajon Tucker has gone upstairs a couple of times tonight, and he's been entertaining the fans. Love his energy. As Cotton finds Thomas down low.
Got Tucker and Cotton there having a little bit of a few words to each other.
Sort of best import sort of conversation, is that what's going on?
They could be asking each other for a game of backgammon later, I don't know.
He's newly wide open. Melbourne will be looking to make it 3 on the trot Friday night when they head up to Cairns to take on the Taipans. Maggie can't get that one to go, but Norton will get to the free throw line. And the Perth Wildcats will have to lick their wounds and back up on Thursday. They're back at home against the Jack Jumpers, who are going to be smarting after their really disappointing game against New Zealand.
Well, we've seen a lot of teams bouncing back from heavy losses. And you're right, the Jack Jumpers took one in New Zealand the other night. New Zealand bounced back from a heavy loss when they lost to you and your guys Creaky, and then they went to Cairns. They were able to get over the line, so that's the challenge ahead of the Wildcats. And meanwhile, the talking about the ball movement from Melbourne United, the unselfishness, 21 assists. That's their highest number of the season to this point. Still nearly 3 minutes to play. So everybody's been getting involved and the ball's been popping around.
And for Melbourne tonight, you've got, nearly 6 guys in double figures. You've got 10 for Humphries, XRM's got 20, Chris has got 10, Tucker 16, and then you got Shea on 9. When everyone's getting in and getting a little bit of a taste of the offensive end, it makes it a lot easier.
Shooting at such a good clip too. Still 58% from the field, Melbourne United. Nathan Mays, 9 of 14. Mitch Norton nails that triple. He's up to 11 points. Let's get back down courtside. Drew Jones.
Thanks, Joe. I was just talking to Kerry Manette, who's obviously the dad of Brady. He's come from Oklahoma to Perth to Melbourne to watch his son. The Travers family are in town. They're in Melbourne tonight, but they're not here watching Luke play. They're actually at a wedding, and I'm told they've got the game set up on their phones, secretly watching at the reception, probably not loving what they're seeing.
Well, you can switch that off, get on the dance floor, I think, at this point.
Nathan Mays continued on his red-hot form, and he's 10th forward of the night. So he's up to 25 points and 10 rebounds and 5 steals. Along with the 3 assists, so another all-round green performance from Xavier Nathan Mays. Doesn't look like he's done with yet. Bryce Cotton, just the 4 points in this second half. 15 at half-time. Continuing on that trend of just struggling in second halves. So they'll play the Jack Jumpers at home on Thursday, and then again Saturday they go to Adelaide and play the 36ers. So it's a real tough stretch for Perth. They were going to lose 4 on the trot.
Well, those numbers are starting to become, as you say, it's a trend, and it's starting to become a bit of a concern, I think, for John, really, that coaching staff. Trevor Gleeson over the journey with Cotton always used to make sure he got some first half rest. He'd actually come out really early in first and third quarters for a quick breather. Just made sure he managed those minutes. There you see Cotton breathing heavy. And again tonight, just fading away with his offensive production as the game unfolds.
I think it's, what, you had 15 at the half?
I didn't say you did anything.
15 at the half and 4 points for the rest of it now. We talked about it and having a strong start and falling off, but yeah, Perth have really got to figure out how to kind of cure that, because if he goes a little bit quieter as the game goes on, then other guys have got to step up. We spoke about Manic tonight struggling a little bit, Travers having a quiet one.
And they found their offensive rhythm, Melbourne United. They did say it would just take a bit of time to work on their spacing and everyone get all their roles sorted. Humphries, a nice spin move, couldn't finish. Humphries had a block earlier in the game, which was his 100th block in the NBL, which makes him the youngest player to 100 blocks in the 40-minute era. Still only under 25 years of age. Nice little feather in the cap. Leading the competition in block shots. Isaac Humphries. So Melbourne United will get their first double-digit win of the season. They'll get back to 4-4. As Golding just puts the exclamation mark on what's been their best performance of the season.
That's a big shot too. Chris had struggled tonight a little bit to start off with his shooting, gotten a bit of a rhythm, knocked down some free throws, hit the corner 3, and then late in the game, when the game's done, you do not want to give someone like Chris Goulding just a little walk in, find a little rhythm, hit a big deep one, because that'll transfer to us on the weekend.
Oh,
that's Sonny. What are you doing to me, mate?
And Melbourne United on this Halloween Monday night put together their best performance of the year, a comprehensive 17-point win. Normally a pretty happy hunting ground for the Perth Wildcats, John Cain Arena, but not tonight. And Dean Vickerman will be more than impressed with what he's seen.
He'd be happy. That whole group's happy. Their fans are happy. They haven't seen some wins on their home court in recent times, the Melbourne United fans, but they were treated to one tonight against a team that has become one of their main rivals. And it was an all-round team performance. They really shared the ball tonight. As we said, season high assist count and a whole bunch of guys getting on the scoreboard. 4 guys in double figures, others nearby. And Xavier Rattan-Mays was really the leader of that bunch. He was absolutely spectacular. 25 points, 10 boards, 5 steals. Terrific performance, leading his squad to a much-needed win.
Very efficient too, 10 of 16. You know, he's out there making the right plays. He's not doing too much. And when the time comes for his name to be called, he's stepping up and making huge plays for that squad. So it's great to see.
And don't underestimate the return of Shea Illy. Feels like one of their spiritual leaders. They talk a lot about him. Played the 13 minutes, 9 points, 4 assists. He was doing his thing at the defensive end. And the footlocker player of the game, pretty clear-cut one tonight. Xavier Rattan-Mays, 25 points, 10 rebounds, 5 steals, and he's with our man, Drew Jones.
Joey, thank you. XRM stuffed the stat sheet tonight. Great win. What was the key to turning things around these last 2 games?
Defensively. We want to be a team that holds teams under 80 points in a game, and we did that. We came out. We were able to get stops on the defensive end. We preached pace, getting out and running, and that starts with our defense, and I think we did a really good job of that tonight.
So defense worked well tonight, and then the offense looked a bit more fluent. Did you feel that?
Yeah, we got challenged to move the ball more, get side to side, and then get to making plays, and we want to be better in making each other better, and I think we did that. Obviously, great to have Shilly back, man. He did an amazing job for us, and we're just happy to have him back as well.
What about your game, 25 points, and particularly efficient with your shooting tonight? Is that a focus?
Yeah, come out here, be efficient, take great shots, and just, let the offense come. And Dino and my teammates have put me in such great positions to be successful. I just got to come out here and have fun with it.
Xavier, trick or treat? It was the treat tonight. Well played.
Thank you so much.
What a season he's having. Rattan-Mays comes in averaging 18, 7 and 4. And geez, when the going got tough, he got going in this second half. The game was on the line there for winning, and he really stepped up in that third quarter. Got aggressive at the offensive end. He was there all night, chipping away on the glass, moving the ball, making plays, and active defensively, Creaky. But especially in that second half, he grabbed the game by the throat and he gave it a squeeze.
Yeah, just getting downhill, making plays like these, finding guys in 3, in rhythm. That's what you want to see from one of your floor generals and leaders on the team. So it's great to see him come from Illawarra, come down to Melbourne with a different role and put on a show like this.
You see his numbers there. Well-rounded game. Doesn't include the 5 steals at the defensive end. Doing it at both ends of the floor, and he's certainly leading from the front. And he was the footlocker player of the game. We will get back down to Drew Jones because he has another one of the stars for Melbourne United, Isaac Humphries, the 10 points, and he got a block as well, which gave him his 100th block in his NBL career.
Isaac, big effort to double up after the double OT on Saturday night. How do you feel?
Yeah, good. Surprisingly, it was a big weekend for us. I think we had a few points to prove, but yeah, I think we're just trying to find our identity a little bit, and this weekend's really good. It was a really good weekend for us in that sort of for that element, and yeah, I think we'll take this and roll with it, and a bit of positivity in our environment will be nice.
2 straight wins, you're back to 500. I know it's still early in the season, but how big is that for the confidence?
Sorry, I couldn't hear you.
2 straight wins, you get back to 500. I know it's early in the season, but how big is that for your confidence?
Yeah, it's massive. Like I said, we're trying to figure out who we are, our identity, how each of us fit in the team. We've had guys go down and weird lineups, so we'll use this and build on this confidence. We sort of needed this weekend. We needed a hard-fought win against the Hawks, and we needed a good home win this tonight. So we'll use this as a positive.
Got a stat for you, Isaac. You're the youngest person in the modern NBL history to get to 100 blocks. Do you think players are going to skirt around you now when they come inside?
I mean, I think they do already, but yeah, that's awesome. I sort of found that out, on socials the other day, and seeing that up there was pretty cool tonight. Yeah, making history is always really cool, and I'm loving my time in Melbourne, and to do it here has been, that's awesome. So,
just a word on Rajon Tucker. A lot of focus on XRM, has been playing really well, but 3 double-doubles in a row, and then 16 and 8 tonight for Rajon. He's given you a lot.
Yeah, Tuck's been awesome. We've been really on him, kind of asking him for a lot, and coming to the NBL is very different from American hoops, and there's always that adjustment period, and I think he's been really good at taking everything on board and shifting the way he plays a little bit for us, and I think it's really showing right now.
We've We've been getting to know you a bit better, Isaac. We're seeing your work as a musician. Have you working on anything new at the moment? Have you got anything for us?
Yeah, there's a lot. There's a lot. Just stay tuned.
Give us one.
I can't. Just promise you, stay tuned. There's a lot coming.
Okay, we'll stay tuned. Well played.
Thanks, mate.
Nice try, Drew's up. Wasn't going to be that easy on Isaac Humphries to get something out of him, but in the end, led by that man, Xavier Rattan-Mays, Melbourne United, their best performance of the season, and maybe just let the competition know they're back in this. 17-point winners over the Perth Wildcats. Stick with us on the other side of the break. We'll wrap it up. The Perth Wildcats, they came to Melbourne desperate for a win. They'd lost 3 on the trot, but they were no match for Melbourne United. They started to find their groove on offence, led by Xavier Rattan-Mays, Shaili back into the starting lineup. And in the end, it was a comprehensive victory. And their field goal percentage, their shooting from long range, the way they passed the ball around, it was a really good offensive performance.
Yeah, it was. The intensity just really wasn't there for the Wildcats tonight, and that's what you end up with. The opponents shooting at a high percentage. They were getting good looks at the rim. They were getting open looks from long range. 21 assists, sharing the ball, really having a good time offensively. And then down the other end, the Wildcats missed a lot of open looks of their own. 8 of 28, sub 30% from 3, and it just wasn't happening for them, Creaky, for most of the night.
Yeah, it really wasn't. And look, you see someone like Luke Travers, who has come into this season with, I guess, a lot of hype, being gone to the NBA now, coming back, and there's a little more pressure on him, I think, and I think he has to be a guy playing a multiple array of positions, but he's got to step up and start making plays, getting on the rim, just getting the putbacks, you know, the 2 points tonight, only a few rebounds. He's normally a very active guy, but if he steps up, it takes a bit of pressure off the other guys. But yeah, you're right, the defensive intensity just wasn't there for Perth tonight, and maybe that's the back-to-back Brody, but yeah, they've got to be a lot better if they want to win the game.
4 straight losses. Quiet night for Manic, as you say, quiet night for Travers. Melbourne were having some fun down the stretch, and geez, they've had some fun against the Wildcats in recent times. Melbourne have now beaten Perth in 9 of their past 10 matchups. So getting it done against the Wildcats at home and away and having a good time along the way.
And one man who I really liked his performance tonight was Rajon Tucker. The energy he played with, he was hitting the glass, he was scoring, he was getting some highlights, getting upstairs. It's always great to have a player with that energy that just helps lift everyone else around him.
Yeah, it is. And we spoke about it. He's having double-doubles nearly every single game, and tonight was no different, 16 and 8. But it's the intensity on defence, the pressure he had on Bryce Cotton, just the tenacity. Some of the fouls he gives as well. There's a little bit of chippiness to it, and that's the spark that his team lives with as well. And you know, when Chris isn't making shots, Tucker comes down and gets a putback, or he gets a dunk, a little and one here. But you just love to see his kind of intensity on the court because it infects the other players and makes them so much better.
He's taken to this role off the bench really well, hasn't he? You talk about his energy. So good to have a guy with that kind of energy coming off the bench and lifting the intensity. And, you know, some guys, they go to the bench and they pout and they moan and it's not really working for me, coach. He's just grabbed that role and he's making it work.
And this capped off what has been a wild round 5 in the NBL. We've had blowouts, we've had overtime, we've had clutch free throws, we've had a bit of everything in this round. It's been one of the great rounds, hasn't it, we've seen?
Oh, for a long time. He was shouting you out there, Creaky. Just
thanks, mate. Yeah, he's very modest.
Just so you know.
I didn't want to take that one too quick, you know.
There you are, having a good time. Pretty amped with the win in Perth, and then wasn't this fun? Double OT in Wollongong, big shots made at either end in crunch time, and of course, Kawhi, great find from Sean Bruce, bang, on his birthday against his former team who wanted to move on from him over the off-season, and there's all kinds of emotion there at Kudos Bank Arena, and then a big one yesterday, Creaky, when you guys got over the line.
Yeah, massive for us, obviously, to string a few together. And to see someone like Rowdy just step up and make plays consistently now. Trey was incredible for us. It was great to see him get a bit of fitness and conditioning now. And, you know, he's going to be dangerous for us, and he's going to be another, I guess, sword in our little arsenal.
When we take a look at the standings there, so even, so unpredictable. See the Phoenix with a 4-game win streak. The Wildcats are the one with the 4-game losing streak. The Brisbane Bullets starting to get rolling, so it's going to be a big round 6, and it kicks off again Thursday night. The Perth Wildcats have to lick their wounds and take on the Tassie Jack Jumpers. And then, of course, Sunday, United v Phoenix. Good luck to you, Mitch. Thank you, Liam, for your time. Hope you enjoyed the game. We'll be back on Thursday to kick off round 6 of NBL23.
This program is brought to you by Hungry Jack's and Bunnings Warehouse.
Press the left, press the left, left, camera left. And press the right, press the right, press the right, press the right.
You're a good man, thank you.
Thanks, man.
Do we know? Yes.